Hard-fought game. Hats off to Loyola. I certainly don't think we put forth our best foot, certainly in the first half. But you got to give them credit. I thought, a couple of things that we felt coming into the game was that we had to play a tough brand of lacrosse, and I don't think we did that in the first half. I thought they did. I thought we had to, to be disciplined. I don't think we were. And quite frankly, they're a good team, and you can't make the mistakes that we made because they're going to capitalize on them. I'm proud of the effort that we gave in the second half. That's what I expected to see in the first half, to be quite honest with you. And had we seen it, who knows? I certainly don't want to take anything from Loyola, but who knows? The question is, how do we get that effort and play with a lack of toughness in the first half and maybe a disregard for the ball? We turned the ball over a bunch of times early. And how do we not do that in the second half? It was a game where we kept clawing, and we got to within, and we couldn't just get over the hump. We dug ourselves too deep a hole in the first half. And, look, they're a good team. They're a good team. They've got wins over Virginia and Johns Hopkins now. So that's an impressive resume so far. But I think this team is growing. I've seen us grow in the Navy game. I saw us grow in the second half today. I saw John Crawley step up in the second half. I saw Drew Sapinski play with greater energy in the second half. I saw Pat Foley and Nick Fields do a better job in the second half. And, unfortunately, I thought we wasted a good effort from our goalie and from our faceoff guy. So, like I've said a million times to probably most of you, we're a work in progress. But we're not good enough to come out in the first half and not play as hard as our opponent, as tough as our opponent, and make the mistakes that we made. They're too good a team to do that to.
So were the mistakes caused by the play of Loyola or more just by some sloppy play?
Listen, you can't take anything away from them. The bottom line is we don't sprint out in the clear. They catch us from behind and they take the ball away twice. So that's our fault for not sprinting and playing harder. And it's to their credit for playing hard. So, you got to look at it and say, well, they played harder than we did in the first half. They played tougher than we did in the first half. We played way too much defense in the first half. And a lot of that came from us turning the ball over. And we turned it over, I think, 2 or 3 times in the offensive end, and I think maybe three in the defensive end. That's 5 more possessions. Can't do that with a good team. So, you know what, Mike? I think it's both. I think it's both.
It seems like Loyola wanted to play a more unscripted or unsettled game, particularly in the first half. Did you expect that coming in, and do you think it went that way?
That's the way they play. That's the way they play, and they're very good at it. They play offense in 4 phases: transition, quick strike, early offense, and then they settle it down. And when they settled it down, they actually played what I felt was very, very patient. I don't think they rushed anything, which, to their credit, is not an easy thing to do. To go from playing fast and then to go to playing patient is not an easy thing to do. And I thought they did that very well, and I think that comes back to what I've said this week, is they know exactly who they are. They've got a very veteran group there. They got 3 upper-class middies. And quite frankly, I actually thought we did a pretty good job on 3 pretty darn good middies. I thought we did a pretty good job on 32. But we didn't do the things we needed to win, which was get custody of 27. We slide. 7's got the ball. He's got great vision. He's a talented young player. They bang it inside the 27, and we're a step late on our second slide goal. They take a shot. We get a save. We're hopefully going to pick it up and go the other way. 27 picks it up, throws it in the goal. We didn't do some of the things that we needed to do to be successful today.
Ryan, were the turnovers in the first half, is that what kept you guys from getting in sync on offense? Was that kind of affect you?
Yeah, like Coach said, we played a lot of defense in the first half. So anytime you're playing a good team, it's hard to kind of not get all those possessions in the first half, especially the first quarter, to kind of get you in sync and get in the flow of the game. So if you can if we didn't have some of those turnovers, we might have been able to get more of a flow in that first half, which would have been better for us, I think.
Ryan, how are they approaching defensively?
I thought the kid 20, when he got on me, he did a really good job of kind of having an idea of where I was the entire time. He kind of stayed on my, especially when I was off ball, he kind of stayed in my hip pocket the entire time. Didn't really lose track of me, which is kind of like being an off ball guy, kind of frustrating if guys just following you around and everything. But I think he did a really good job.
And what was your impression of the way that the goalie played?
I thought he did well. He made a lot of saves. You know, he made some good ones, some tough ones. He came up big for them a couple times.
You talked about the turnover at the very end. Mark, mind you, across the field, it was just a classic shoot it before you.
Yeah, I should have caught that. That was my fault.
I mean, talk about that moment. This is game time.
Yeah.
It's about to end. How are you rushing?
Um,
What you're supposed to do.
Yeah, I should have caught it and shot it. I didn't.
John, your coach mentioned that you showed, sign of improvement or maybe a little bit more comfort later in the game. And what impressed me in particular was two unassisted goals and late in the possession. It seemed like that was something that the offense needed, particularly in those moments. I feel like you came together in those situations.
I think once we started having the ball and playing our offense, I was just kind of a guy who was in the right spot at the right time. I kind of got a good matchup and did what I had to do. I just tried to do my job, and luckily they squeaked by the goalie. So.
For any of you guys, what is it like playing such a big rivalry, I guess your second big rivalry with Navy as well, so early in the season?
It's different, This is a game that's been played at the end of the season so many times. Weather-wise, it actually felt kind of like the end of the season today. But the interesting thing is that's our second game of the year. There's a lot of lacrosse ahead of us. Don't write us off just yet. There's a lot of lacrosse, and this team's going to improve. And we made some mistakes against a good team, and when you do that against a good team, they punish you. And they did that. So credit to them. We go back to the drawing board, and we got to build off the things that we did well in the second half, and we've got to. It all starts in practice. We got to do a better job in practice of doing things full time, playing hard full time, executing full time. Playing picks or zipping a ball across the field full time. We got to do those things on a more consistent basis, and hopefully that'll come as we move forward.
Coach, I'm sure you're not one of these guys that says there are good losses, but today, as much as it hurts now, is this the kind of game though that you can really coach off of?
Yeah, of course it is. I mean, there was a lot of positives. I mean, you look at we win the second half 6-4. That doesn't change what happened in the first half. So what has to change is what we did in the first half, and we've got to do a better job defending or attacking a team like them. They don't, we did a better job of trying to win our matchups in the second half. You mentioned, John coming around unassisted. Well, that's the same as the first half. They don't want to slide. They don't create offense for you. That's the way they play, and they play it very well. So when you see John come around, with no one on him, it's because he won his matchup. We didn't win our matchups in the first half, or at least not enough. So it's a loss to a good team. They just beat Johns Hopkins and beat Virginia. I watched them on film.
Yeah.
They're a good team. Their goalie's much improved. They're very strong up the middle with the three kids at the midfield. Jeff Chase comes back and plays like a fifth-year guy. And you know what, quite frankly, we've been in two really tight ball games. We won one, we lost one. We found a way to win one, we didn't find a way to win the other one. These things are going to serve us well moving forward. So to answer your question is, can we learn from this loss in a positive fashion? The answer is yes. If we'll learn from this loss. And that's the big thing. The lessons are there. We got to take those lessons and see them and then address them.
Did you get the look you were looking for in that last possession?
How could you not be happy with that look? That's Pat Frazier in the middle of the goal from, 12 yards with time and room. Yeah, look, he took the shot, kid made the save. He made the play, we didn't. hats off to him. And then they did a good job going down the other end and hanging on to the ball.
You mentioned the face-off effort. Did you notice anything that changed when they went to 24, either as an individual, the way that he was approaching number 5, or as a unit?
No, that's a really finicky position, and you can have a lot of success for first one guy, and then all of a sudden here comes a different guy with a different technique, and you're looking at it and going, what just happened? I thought Craig did a very good job. I thought he battled. I thought we actually got some transition. A couple we didn't take advantage of, quite frankly. But we can't be disappointed with his effort. I mean, he took all of them against 2 guys, So, the question was, at the end, do you put another guy in that's cold, that it's been standing on the sidelines for 57 minutes? And the answer is, you go with the girl that got you to the dance and that took you to the dance, and Craig had done a good job. So, we have no reason to feel poorly about our face-off play the last 2 games. It's certainly something to build off of.
Any other questions? Do you have any initial thoughts on Carolina?
Haven't even looked at them. I know they're a very talented team and a very well-coached team, but I haven't had a chance to look at them. Not with this game. We don't look at another opponent until this one's over. That would be disrespectful on our part.